should be live now. I know I have a problem with my need for collecting games when I see this guy has Blades of Time for the 360 for $10, and I was like, you know what? I have X-Blades, and it's terrible. Why wouldn't I buy the second game for $10?
They made a sequel to that?
They made a sequel, and guess what? It was worse.
How?
They remember the first one where they had her like she was kind of like not really SD, but like she was almost like anime, and her proportions were weird.
Yeah.
For the sequel, they made her look like a real lady, and they somehow sexed her up even more.
How is that
Gross.
possible?
Yeah, yeah. They really tried. Yeah, I don't know why I just don't know why they bothered. Like, why would you even need to do that?
It's like, why do we need a Bullet Witch 2?
Yeah. Poor Bullet Witch. That game could have been so good if it wasn't the worst.
It looks so cool in the fucking trailer.
Yeah, it looks so cool, and I played it, and it is just garbage. Like, it is just a bad game.
Yeah.
Ugh. Mortal Kombat 3 for Sega Genesis, complete in box with the little plastic tab on the top for $16. That's a pretty good price.
That is a pretty good price.
Add to watch list.
Okay.
Urban Champion for NES, $9. That's a pretty good price.
Add to watch list?
Well, I'm not so, like the only ones I feel like for I'll buy a cart. That was a cart only. I'll buy a cart only for a game that I really, really loved, and I can't find it anymore.
Fair enough.
But if it's not a game I love, like I bought a copy of Golf and RC Pro-Am for the NES,
Yeah.
but I bought it complete in box because it wasn't that much money. Like, he has a listing for Super C, Super Contra, complete in box with everything, even like that little styrofoam bit that came in the bottom of the box.
Ooh.
For $47. That's a pretty good price.
Yeah.
Like, the box and everything is in pretty good shape, but I don't know if I care about Super C enough to buy. Like, if it was the original Contra, maybe I could talk myself into it complete in box, but like, I don't know. I'm sort of weird about some of the stuff I pick up.
Yeah. Yeah. You got every right to be.
With 888 games, I feel like I have to start being a little more picky.
Just a little. Not much.
Not
Just
too
a little.
much.
When you hit 1,000, then you have to start sort of paring it down.
Well, I mean, the
Dude,
gloves are off after 1,000.
You would like to think so, since my DVD collection is well over that, and like with Blu-rays, like I think I'm doubling up more on Blu-rays than anything else right now.
Yeah, but I feel like with that, the price is so different. Like, you can pick up 4 Blu-rays for, sometimes you get lucky and drop $50 on them. That's not a bad deal.
Oh man, like every Tuesday it's been like at least a bill every time I stop.
Yeah.
To get whatever's new. But what was the last this last night? I'm probably gonna buy whatchamacallit again. Like, I'm fucking obsessed with steel books right now. Like, I'm just gonna start gifting my doubles to people.
Why not?
Like, it is all over the board.
So, like, here's a copy. So, my collection is really weird because it's both a combination of stuff that I really love and then stuff that's really bad or, like, laughably bad. So, this guy has a copy of Rock of the Dead for PS3, sealed for $11.
I think I remember that one.
Like, how it's the one where they were trying to make a cool zombie attack game out of, like, the Guitar Hero.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
yeah.
Here's the cover art. It says, featuring Rob Zombie, Neil Patrick Harris, and Felicia Day. What? Why?
Who wants to get paid?
How can you not buy that game for $10? That's what gets me in trouble.
That's gross.
True Crime New York City for the Xbox, $8, complete.
Okay, not bad.
Like, that's a pretty good, and the stuff that I buy from him is in good condition.
Nice.
Yeah, I was really surprised that steelbook copy of Equilibrium came and it was pristine.
Huh.
Nice.
iToy Anti-Grav for the PS2 for $6. Like, I would buy that just because it's so dumb. Why would you make this?
Oh, lots of reasons.
I don't remember if that's the one Harmonix made or not. Harmonix made
I
one of those.
did. I do have that TV on order, by the way.
That TV? Which one?
No, the 80-inch Aquis Plus.
Oh, nice.
All right, the wall mount's already on the wall. Like it is like
It's
that
ready
thing
to
comes
go.
in, bolt up to kaboom, done.
Here we go. Lethal Enforcers 2 Gunfighters for Sega CD.
They made a second one.
Complete for $12. Add to watch list. This is what gets me in trouble because I'm like, look, each one of these is only like less than $10. And like $120 later, I'm like, ah, crap.
Whoops.
Yeah, I was doing that on Best Buy earlier today with their steel books. I'm like, all right, so I'm probably gonna buy all the Fast and Furious movies because they'll come in steel books now.
Oh, nice.
But I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, well, what when 7 comes out? It is not gonna match, and I'm gonna be furious.
Yeah.
Are you also going to be fast?
So, like, I hate that I care about that, but I really do. Like, I hate... Like, the only game series that's ever done that right has been Metal Gear Solid. Like, every PS2 game is exactly the same, has the same shape and size and everything.
Well, you know why that is. It's because Kojima is insane.
I know. Congratulations. Thank you. I need more of that insanity in my life.
Well, no, I mean, it's like, as long as it looks consistent, it looks awesome on a wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like there's like Gantz 22. It's a different art on the side, and it's driving me insane.
Think of the collectors. All right. Are you guys ready to start the actual show?
Yes.
Instead of collector chat?
Oh, real quick, is Space Harrier on 32X? Is that a rare game?
Let me look.
Is it bad that I own more Wii games than I do PlayStation 3?
Scarcity Loose 4, Scarcity Complete 0.
What does that mean?
I think that means it's incredibly rare.
Wait. Hold on.
I mean, I'm triple checking here. Space Harrier CO
For 32X.
for 32X. What was that? 32X. It's a cart game and not a CD, right? Yeah. This one's saying it's very common. This says it's 0, but that site sucks. Oh, Digital Press. Here we go. Scarcity Loose 0. Scarcity Value in USD Loose 0. Value in USD Complete 0.
Oh, so it's not?
Yeah, it seems like it's incredibly common.
Wow. What about that Spider-Man one, Web of Fire?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
curious.
a much more interesting game. Is that a disc or a...
No, it's a cart.
Yeah. Spider-Man, Web of Fire. So I know I know it's only... that was the only release it saw. Was on the 32X. It never came to the Genesis.
Right.
Is it complete?
Yep.
So, common price on eBay right now. Top 2 prices for a complete... is it a 32X Genesis game or is it just 32X?
It's just 32X, yeah.
No, it's 32X Genesis. Weird. I think that's the only 32X Genesis game that came out. Because it used... Yeah, use the processing power from both. It's $350 on eBay right now for a non-sealed copy. Yeah, there's
Nice.
there's a lot of weird engineering about that game that happened, mostly because it required both.
Mm,
The crown jewel of any 32X game collection.
nice.
Cool. At least I did something right when I was buying shit.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's a kind of a stinker of a game, but incredibly rare. I think it had a really, really low print run.
Well, most of that shit had low print runs.
For 32X, yeah. Oh, God, my back. Alright, you guys ready to kick this thing?
Yeah.
As ready as we're gonna be.
I think so. Yep, they're on. Alright. Alright, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Going around the room, we got Knobs.
What's up?
And we got the Hannah.
Hey,
Starting off 2015 right with some Vigi games.
indeed.
Let's get this show started off right with Knobs. What have you been playing? So for people that don't know, because, I mean, we're still releasing episodes, we had about 2.5 weeks off here where we haven't really spoken. You know, we're not really friends anyway. We just come do this show.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, now that that's all out in the open.
yeah, it's the last episode of the show. Usually we have these 2 weeks to kind of get through a lot of games and potentially games we just never really got to for our top 10 list. So with that being said, Knobs, what have you been hopefully enjoying over the break?
Well, none of that. Like, I've pretty much been playing the same games.
Well, see you all next week.
It's the same shenanigans that it's like the weeks were the same that they were if like, well, I got this break, I can really jump into this game. Yeah, I did none of that. I bought a few.
A lot of Battlefield 4.
Oh yeah, I ended up being a ton of Battlefield 4. A couple analog games. Played a lot of Cards Against Humanity with some friends over, which is
never a bad time.
the best with the right groups.
Oh, yeah.
That game is just brilliant, especially the bigger, blacker box too.
If you can get a similar collection of monsters to you gathered in a room with that game, it's nothing but great time.
Oh yeah, like I threw on some background music and it said to be ominous, and I get a card with ominous background music. I was like, "This is perfect. This is a winner.
This game has everything."
It really
This is
does.
a winner."
Oh man.
But yeah, big thanks to Bulgurk, Nintendork, Soul Man, Donnie, and Moonpier for swinging by. Like it was we had a good 3-4 days of just shenanigans
Nice.
and a lot of White Castle.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Well, because all the White Castles in the Cleveland area are closing.
I know.
Oh,
I followed the Cleveland subreddit, and there was a much gnashing of teeth and crying out when someone spotted
understandable,
that sign. I mean, they're like, for most of northern Ohio, they're all closing. It's so weird. I don't understand it.
That's really
So
weird.
this was my last opportunity to do something stupid. What I mean
Yeah,
stupid,
get a bag of
like
sliders.
a bag.
Bags.
No,
No,
you don't get a.
you get this thing called it's a Crave case,
Okay.
and it comes with 30 burgers.
Okay.
So I bought 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you
Nice.
gotta freeze them.
Well, and hold on. A while back, they were doing a thing called the Crave Crate, which was literally a cardboard crate filled with 100 sliders.
That's
Oh,
Yeah, they stopped doing that after a while.
after the lawsuits.
well, I don't know. After eating about 20 of them things, like I was done. Like, oh,
Yeah, that's
and five bags of fries. Like it was stupid. I'll put the picture up on the episode for
Yeah.
what it was. This is on my kitchen table. It was
just
ridiculous
this
amount.
mound.
I saw that on Facebook. It was insane.
It was good. It was a good picture.
Oh, man.
But that was like the last opportunity to do it. But the sad thing for me about losing White Castle is I would stop there for breakfast probably about once a week.
They have
They
the
have
best breakfast.
the best breakfast sandwich, bar none.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Like it's just it's so homey. Like just
Yeah.
it tastes like you made it in your own kitchen.
Yeah.
Like real eggs, None of this tubular with a fake yolk in it. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so played a few more than a few rounds of Battlefield. I think my hour total is up in the 350s now because
Nice.
I don't understand how I'm still playing this game so much. Luminous Monster struck real hard over the break. I've been playing that almost every free moment that I'm watching something on TV.
Jeez.
And then playing a lot of Power Star Golf and listening to music and stuff. Apparently I'm in some rivalry, some random dude that keeps breaking my scores. I don't know this man.
But you will find him.
Dude, but
you will end him.
You want to one-up me? I'll one-up you right back, bro.
You're just making my game stronger.
Yeah.
And then I had this weird point where I didn't really want to play anything.
Yeah.
Like, nothing had my attention. There was nothing I felt like starting. Like, I installed Sleeping Dogs. I'm like, nah, well, I gotta wait for this installed. I got sucked into watching movies. Next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
So then I sat downstairs. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play God of War. And you know what? 1 and 2 go together really nice.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I can't muster the 4 hours to play 3, so I'm done.
Yeah, that was a good call.
So I played a whole bunch of God of War over the break, which was surprisingly fun. That game is still really fun to play.
Yeah, do both of those hold up still? Graphically, of course not, but...
Well, play-wise, it's still a very satisfying game to play.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see how far video games have come as far as, executing sequences, like from playing Shadows of Mordor, where it just happens, and it the characters don't slide in position to get the best view of what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But still, man, the Blades of Chaos are still a fantastic weapon. It's awesome.
I was just curious about when that came out, and we are 2 months away from its 10th anniversary of the first game.
I remember getting the demo for that when I was working at Game Crazy, and everyone being floored by that thing.
Demo was so hot. That was one of those things.
You were like, "That's a PS2 game?"
Yeah, that was one of those things where
reaction.
everybody needed to play that game, and everybody played that demo because it was just like, look, you just sit. If you got 15 minutes, you need to fight this stupid Hydra. This is the coolest looking stuff on the PS2.
It was.
I think what that game did was buy probably another 2 to 3 years of life on that machine.
Oh, absolutely.
No question.
Because at that point, everything was looking stale, and then this blew the doors off. It's still, and the game's what, 10 years old now?
Yep.
Almost, yeah.
Unbelievable. Unreal.
Sold 4.6 million copies worldwide, according to Wikipedia. And it is only the 11th best-selling PS2 game.
That is shocking.
4.6 million.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
There's a lot of units out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really weird list, too, for best-selling games. Anywho. I'm glad that still holds up. I'm glad that you can still go back to God of War 1 and 2, and they're still fun to play.
It brings back that memory of just experiencing that world, and I wouldn't be surprised that most people's perception of Greek mythology is from this game.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
The only reason why they know who Athena and Ares and Zeus, well, probably Zeus is a given, but
yeah,
all the lesser guys, the only reason they know what these things are is from God of War.
Well, and I feel like God of War, especially 1, and I think 2 might have taken a little bit too far, but I feel like those 2 games really did a great job of showing how to do scale in video games.
Yes.
If you're gonna climb this giant dude, he needs to be really big. The thing that Asura's Wrath kind of took to the next level. God of War really started where it's like, okay, if you're gonna climb a god, he needs to be monstrously gigantic. It's not just you're the size of this guy's foot. You're not even a tenth of the size of this guy's toenail. He needs to be huge.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the problem that I think a lot of designers, because they still want to show what you're on while you're on it.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're climbing up the side of Kronos, going to Pandora's castle,
Yep.
and you're like, you can almost forget you're actually on something that's moving around the desert.
Yeah. And they do a
Because
really
it
good
is-
job of showing you, like, just as soon as you forget, you like come out of a part of him, and you see him just lumbering slowly across this desert, and you're like, holy crap, God, I'm still on this dude, like, an hour later, and now, like, I can see all this whole this is crazy. You know, like the back half of God of War 1, where you're in the labyrinth, I think it was? Or is that 2?
No, that's one.
Yeah, and
that's
like you
one.
come out of it and you're like, oh my God, I
Oh,
just
yeah.
spent half of this game in one location. How big was that place? Like, that's that stuff is still really effective.
Well, yeah, and it even to further that point forward is that castle is on the dude you were calling on for the first 20 minutes. Like
It's nuts.
and you forget like, oh wow.
Oh right, that was a dude is carrying that.
Like even I think God of War 2 did a few things a little bit better with the chariots where you bring the chariot and that side of that mountain together.
That's super
I was
cool.
like,
Yeah.
like I forgot that. Oh wait, and like the 4 stone horses pull this mountain to you to get onto the next portion.
Well, I feel like they did a really good job, especially in 2, with that puzzle in particular, because you're doing all this stuff and you kind of don't see what's all going together, and then you do that last part, that Hya part, and this whole dungeon that you just finished all comes together, and you're like, holy crap! Like, you can see all the pieces you put together, and they all come together all at once, and you're like, this game is crazy.
Yeah.
And then you go like 5 miles in the distance on this one giant chain.
I think that's the one thing that God of War has always done well is that nice drawback shot when you're running on something, well, especially on a long chain because the chains are just stupid big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it was an experience that I almost had completely forgotten. Like I remember I liked it, and I'm still pissed at that ending on 2 though. Like it just
Oh yeah.
like it ends and you're climbing. It's like, oh, we're going after. What do you mean this is over?
Yeah.
Like
A real
But playing-
Halo 2 ending.
Yeah.
but playing
Very
1 and
much
2
so.
together, that ending works.
Yeah.
Playing 2 by itself is just it's just a tip and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Like
And then unfortunately to get followed up by 3. And the PSP games were so good and nobody played them.
yeah.
Yeah.
PSP games are some of the best in that series.
Oh, what was that? Shadow of Sparta and Chains of Olympus.
Yeah.
Chains of Olympus is outstanding.
That's easily one of the best on the PSP, and that might be one of my favorite God of War games.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they had that heart-wrenching moment where you had to keep pushing your daughter away.
That
like,
was the worst.
I was like, I don't want to hit this button again. Like, just end the game.
What
man.
did those get remastered on? Was that the PS2 or the PS3?
PS3.
PS3.
PS3, okay.
Yeah.
I should play those one time, just to like play through all of those.
I was really close to popping those 2 in before I was gonna hop over to 3, and then I had 3 in my hand. I'm like, I don't want to be mad because that first boss battle is the best one in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking before we recorded this that I was going through all my collection, and I pulled out God of War 3 from my PS3 collection. I'm just sort of like, you did me wrong, God of War 3. You just did me wrong.
Just throw it against the wall.
It was just such a letdown for a game that didn't need to be. Like, it had all the parts together to be another great God of War game, and when it all came together, it was just okay. Like, it was just fine.
The worst boss battle in the game is fighting Zeus. Like, how?
Yeah.
How is that the worst one when you open up with Poseidon, which was still one of the most
cool.
amazing fights I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And then following it up with Hades, I was like, you just took those are back half. Like those are showstoppers.
You're ending on that.
And you open up with those are the first 2.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about chasing Helios. Like why
No.
am I doing this in the end of the game?
That felt like a misunderstanding of what made the Hydra battle in God of War 1 so good.
Yeah.
It's like, because that was the smallest thing you fought. Like, that was impressive, and it fooled you where it's like, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a showstopper. And it's like, no, that this is just where you're starting, is with a giant Hydra.
Well, and that's where, I mean, because because it hit that plateau early, like with God of War 1, the pacing was so good.
Yeah.
Especially when you come out of Athens and then you see Ares just stomping dudes, like, just gigantic
Stomping
in
a
the
city.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
And then you go into the whole, Kronos and the Pandora's Temple, and it was just, like, everything felt like a crescendo back up to fighting Ares at the end of that game.
Yep.
And it worked. It worked so well. But then with 2, who was the first one in 2?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Oh, you fight the big statue.
Oh,
Yes.
the
Colossus.
Yeah, the Colossus at Rhodes, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
You fight the Colossus, which was a ridiculously good battle.
Yeah.
And then from there, I don't think it ever hit that same high point.
No.
Yeah.
Man.
And I forgot about the house and the fighting the Kratos clones at the end of 1.
Oh,
was
jeez.
just maddening.
Yeah.
Like, just craziness.
Jeez.
As the world's falling down around you. Oh, it's so cool. And the game was so good.
What a great game. Man.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, I've been thinking about going back to some of my PS2 favorites and streaming them, and that's just helping me.
Well, it's those moments that made us love games, like
Yeah.
even more than we already had. Like this is where we're going and stuff.
Yep.
Like this, like I kind of really want to go back and play Katamari Damacy again. Like
That's what I was thinking, because I pulled out
Yeah.
We Love Katamari, and I was like, well, that's not the best one. And I was pulling out, like, Beautiful Katamari and the Katamari for PS3, and I was like, all of these are fine, but they're not that first one. There's not that perfect snippet of, you don't have to get, like, the levels where you have to only pick up cold stuff and not hot stuff. I don't want any of that. I just want to roll up a bunch of stuff and get real big.
yeah, and Dama Man or whatever it is, swinging some other wrestler looking dude
Yep.
in the giant as I'm rolling up the world. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like those moments that like probably haven't played those in probably 4 or 5 years. The God of War games, it really brought back a lot of like fond memories of playing games back then.
Yeah, especially
Like-
the PS2. And on the PS2, there were so many great games that were on the shorter side, the 4 or 5 hour side, but they were just so influential and just such a, like, it was just this swing from PS1 and Saturn era into the PS2, where it's sort of like, okay, well, we can do some real stuff now. Like, these little black boxes can do some stuff.
Yep.
Like, man, what's another great one I would love to I want to go back and play? Oh, I got a great one, Gungrave. Like, I would smash that game at least twice a day.
Yep.
Nice.
Just because it's stupid fun.
Yeah.
Like, that stupid bullet dance is just outstanding. But, I digress.
Yes.
So, I picked up Guilty Gear Xrd.
I did too.
nice.
Did you play it?
I played probably. I don't even think it was an hour. I popped it in at probably like midnight, and I was like, I am way too tired for all this craziness this game has.
Mm-hmm.
I can't beat the arcade mode.
I played arcade mode, and I got to probably the 4th character, and I got to Faust, and I got wrecked.
Faust is fantastic in this game.
Faust is dangerous. I got wrecked.
Yeah, Faust is something like I've never seen. Did you change the dialogue, or did you leave the localization?
I left it in English just because it is.
Oh, it is terrible.
It is a trip. I mean, some of it's not bad, but some of it,
It's
like
so
Faust,
bad, it's awesome.
especially, is really just weird.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I have to say
There's-
that Xrd is one of, probably at this moment, a showpiece for next-gen consoles. It is
Yeah.
such an outstandingly beautiful game, 60 frames, 1080p. I just one of those games where you look at it and you're like, okay, well, I get the pleasure of playing this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I showed my brother-in-law the trailer for it, and his jaw dropped.
yeah.
Oh, now from playing so much of the original two, like Sharp Reload and X2 or Doubles X, whatever it's called, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think this game's slow.
Yeah, it's a little. What's funny is I had the same idea, and I think it's because Guilty Gear mode isn't unlocked. I don't know if that's a thing that's in there, but I feel like the Guilty Gear and GG mode not being on is, especially after playing BlazBlue, it feels a little bit more deliberate.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's something they changed, because it feels like they took an opportunity with this game to kind of change Guilty Gear a little bit. I feel like mostly for positive. For most of the changes are pretty positive, but I feel like starting off on it, I'm sort of like, this isn't the crazy Guilty Gear that I remember. Whether or not I'm making that up in my head,
you're not.
I don't know. But,
no, because I went back and played X2.
Yeah.
And that game is, blisteringly fast.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just been so long since I've held the PlayStation controller in my hand.
Yeah.
That my thumbs are not working like they should. Like, I can't do, like my Potemkin has fallen apart. Like, they used to be one of my, like, I would get them in the dice roll and you'd be like, oh no.
Great. And now I'm going to lose. Guaranteed.
Well, because that move where I do that uppercut and then grab you and then pull you back and then shoot you with like the fist bullets.
Yeah.
I can't do that move in this game. It's driving me insane.
Huh. Well, Knobs, I do have something to share with you. We are too old for fighting games. We are nearing our mid-30s. We are way past our prime for fighting games.
All right. Well, my soul is still pretty vicious, and that's
Does your soul still burn?
It does, especially. I hope someone gets how funny that really was. Oh, it was so good. I hate it. Oh man, I gotta think, and because of boom.
There you go.
Anyway, but no, there's a character in that game. Ramathorn isn't right.
Say Car Ramrod.
Yeah.
Ramathil.
Whatever it is that she's got, like the two things and the giant swords.
Yeah.
I can't beat her. I rolled Ino and everyone else in this game. I am
power
pissed.
hitters.
I am pissed Johnny isn't in this game. I am furious.
Yeah, but I think I think they've been pretty honest up front. They're like, hey, if your characters aren't in here, maybe they'll be DLC. Ramlethal Valentine.
Yeah, Ramathorn.
Oh, she's the boss. That's why.
Ramathorn?
Yeah.
I can't. Oh my. Not even. I don't even think I beat her one round.
Yeah.
Like, not even gotten lucky with fighting this thing. Like, her tension gauge builds so fast, and she just unleashes holy hellfire on you.
Yeah.
And it takes up too much space. And like all of her
crossy sword things.
God.
She's the alpha from DOA's Alpha.
Yes.
Oh, don't remind me.
It's gonna be one of those fights where you really either fought out of your gourd and got lucky around.
Yep.
To win the game.
Yep.
So I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen. I gotta see what there's 3 characters that are unlockable right now. I gotta find out who they are.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the game I fought as everyone so far, and whatchamacallit, Zato looks amazing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Man, there's something about like them dabbling in 3D perspectives in this game that I think makes it look so much better, because especially during the intros, like where he no, I'm thinking of Venom.
Venom looks it's stupid good
where
too.
he's like,
I'm sure he does.
The camera just follows his little case where it opens, and he's pulling out his cue stick, and he's putting it all together, and it just looks so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, like everything looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, the characters are so good. The models are just things that I've never seen look that good before. I mean,
Yep.
like Street Fighter 4 looked awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks great.
Yep.
And this is just a whole nother level, especially with the finishing move where it tilts the camera on them.
I think a lot of people, I think all three of us included, when they were saying, our engine is going to be 3D this time, I think we were all sort of being like, well, that's not gonna, is this going to be another Asuka? Like, is this just going to be all the way wrong? And all they did was they made a Guilty Gear game with a 3D engine. Like, it looks great.
Oh, it looks great.
And it's still Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
They didn't screw it up this time.
But yeah, I mean, the game's really good.
The game's really good.
It's really good.
I haven't gotten back to it, but I appreciate that it's a Guilty Gear. I'm glad I threw my money in the ring to support Guilty Gear yet again. I would really like to keep playing it. It's pretty low on my list at the moment, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, I mean, if we were still in college, we would be all over it
every day.
Like every day would just be nonstop.
It'd be versus mode the whole time.
Oh man, I miss that. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, it really was.
I wish everyone was watching the live stream. You could just see a slowly rising puppy here. Ta-da!
But I may sink some time into that just because I love the series and I want to see what it has to offer. I don't know if I'm going to go through the whole story arc thing like I did with 2 and Sharp Reload, because that was so weird. It was amazing.
Yeah. And I really liked the story mode in BlazBlue as well, but for a story mode in a fighting game, it's kind of a time sink. Like you need to set aside a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, I mean I remember being up all hours of the night playing that. I'm like, who just killed who? Like what just happened?
Like, I've been playing this for like 15 hours. I'm like 3/4 of the way through the characters. What am I doing?
It's like then you're like, what do you mean there's there's branching paths?
Yeah.
Like,
oh man.
What?
That destroyed us when we're like, I don't want to, but I'm going to do this.
Oh yeah, and there were like stupid things like win by a timeout or lose on this battle. You're like, what do you mean I have to lose?
Yeah.
Or lose the first round and sweep them. Like it's
stupid.
That's ridiculous.
What masochist thinks of that stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to play it online because I know I'll just get rolled because my old fingers just don't work like that anymore.
Your old man fingers.
But it's Guilty Gear. I'm happy it's back.
Yep, I'm happy it's still Guilty Gear.
I am too.
We still need that.
When I do decide to drop the dime on getting a PS4, I probably will buy it again.
It looks so good. Oh my god. And you get a trophy for starting the game. So
yeah, I was like, oh, that's cute.
Oh, thanks
guys.
Yeah.
And lastly, I did start Sleeping Dogs.
Yes.
Nice.
How far did you get into it?
I'm like 3 or 4 missions in.
Oh, nice. Okay.
How about the opening chase sequence?
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
That game does chases really well.
Oh yeah, like, I love hopping over tables and vaulting,
sliding through windows.
Yeah. That was really cool. He looks a bit old to be in this group of guys, doesn't he?
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on the Xbox One, the definitive version.
Okay, so they he looks older in that version.
Like,
Yeah,
It's
like no,
it's
he looks like he
weird.
doesn't belong with this group of kids.
Yeah,
Like,
in the
it's like
original,
Steve Buscemi on 30 Rock. Hello,
Well,
fellow
you-
students.
yeah,
it would be like I don't want to say Billy Madison odd, but it's he just seems like if I had to pick the cop out of the group, it would totally be
I
me.
pick the old guy. Yeah. Well, it's weird because in the original version, I played it on 360, and I feel like in that version, everybody seemed like they were sort of around the same age, and if not, they kind of. I feel like they did a good job of saying like, all right, well, this guy's a little bit older, maybe by like a year or two, but we all came from the same neighborhood, so that's fine. Like he looked, what's your friend's name? Jackie?
Yeah,
He and
Jackie looks
looked
like Jack.
really similar in ages in the original version. In this
Yes.
one, he's like a baby face.
Well, Jackie looks like okay. All right, so your dude looks like he's a senior in high school,
Yep.
and Jackie looks like he's just coming out of grade school.
Yeah, he's a freshman in a
Like
couple months.
it looks like at least a 6 to 7 year difference between them.
Yeah, it's weird.
But that flying roundhouse kick is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I try to pull that off as much as possible. It's too cool.
There's so many cool, and like you haven't even unlocked any of the cooler moves, by the way. Like if you collect
yeah.
jade statues and you turn them into a dojo later in the game, they just start giving you additional and cooler moves. Like, do you want to just hold B and break someone's leg by kicking it? You can do that.
It's so visceral and so satisfying. The
Yeah.
combat is phenomenal.
That was like it's not as snappy as Batman or Shadows of Mordor was.
Yeah.
As far as the countering and stuff goes, but man, when you catch that dude behind that leg, it just oh, it's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's slowly sinking its hooks into me.
Yeah.
It'll do that.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. It took me a little bit of time to really have it fully sink its teeth into me, and once it did, I was like, okay, I have to finish this. Like, I just got to play this thing and finish it.
Yeah, the one thing that's kind of getting me is driving on the wrong side of the road is really
I
throwing me
love
for a
it.
loop.
Oh, I love it.
It is throwing me for a loop, man.
Yep. But you know, on the same token, the music channels are great. Like
Yeah.
all the radio stations are great.
I always put on the most Asian one I could find.
Yeah, it's like
like the Asian classical folk music.
or like the hip hop.
yeah. Oh,
The
yes.
Asian hip hop is pretty brilliant.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
pretty
great.
fantastic.
Going back
The
to
languages lend itself to it.
Yeah.
Going back to music, back to Guilty Gear real quick. Now, remember when Soul had that charge up move where he would be flashing red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he turns into this crazy dragon dude.
Yeah, it's like this black and gray demon.
Oh, he looks
Like
awesome.
It's
Game.
so cool.
Even better, it changes the music too to some really hard rock.
It does, yeah.
It's
so good.
it's really good.
So speaking of driving in Sleeping Dogs, have you gotten to any missions where you bump into other cars?
Oh, the hit X the ram
Yeah.
is the best thing.
It's the most unbelievable thing to do in real life, but it makes car takedowns so great. You bump
Yeah.
them 2 or 3 times, and they're just flipping bumper over bumper.
Oh yeah,
It's so
bumper
cool.
over bumper. It does that little real
Yeah,
slow, and it's that
woo.
white little flash on them, and then they go tumbling. You're like,
Yep.
all right, this is awesome.
Yep. Throughout the entire game, I was doing that all the time, and never got old.
Oh, I love doing it. 'Cause I was doing the bus mission.
Yes.
It was, you're just pretty much aping these people at these stops. It was great.
Yep, you're coming with me. What?
What do you mean? Well, then
That
they
was
let the
awesome.
guys off. This is the most exciting thing I've done in a week.
Yeah. Was it a side mission or a main mission?
I think
think that was a
one of
main
the-
mission.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
one of the second or third main missions.
So
but,
many of the
that was
side
so much
missions
fun.
in that game are just so crazy and so worthwhile.
yeah.
I love stopping at random shops too.
Yep.
And by get some long tea and get you boom, get you boom boom. We're like,
Yeah, and I was
okay.
like, what? Okay, I'll drink
Sure,
whatever
here's
you have.
$40. Throw it at me, bro.
Yeah. Get a pork bun.
Here's some delicious duck from
Yeah.
a streetcar.
Oh, man.
I wouldn't trust a kebab from a street, but give me a whole duck. Why
Yeah,
not?
it increases
Yeah.
my punching power. Sure.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Oh man.
So I'm really looking forward to getting into that and having some fun.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I played over break. How about you, Brian?
Oh, I played so much, so many games. I had a bunch of days off over this break that I didn't realize I had off, which is
Yes.
a real nice treat. Yeah, it was really
Cooper was
fun,
pumped.
wasn't it, Cooper? It was really fun, except for when he decided he wanted to bite the bejesus out of my sleeves while we're recording. Yeah, he's going crazy down here. So I played a bunch of Brutal Doom
Oh,
while I
nice.
was working from home
Oh.
because I wanted to get back into that.
Because why not?
Yeah. That game is just so much fun. Dude, come on. Would you stop? He's in maniac mode. I'm gonna let him out of the
Cooper,
room.
be
really
cool.
quick.
Man, come
Just
on.
be cool, man. Just be cool. All right, come on.
Don't tase me, bro.
We'll just take a
Have fun.
quick intermission here while
Dog's a psychopath.
dogs. Anywho,
They're the best. Yeah. So I played a ton of
Speaking
Brutal
that,
Doom. Huh?
come on up, puppy.
On cue.
One puppy
Yeah.
goes down, one puppy comes up.
So Brutal Doom, if you haven't played it, it's just the most gross version of Doom ever. There's you actually start with an assault rifle instead of a pistol. The shotgun is insane. It feels like it almost might be faster,
I think
but
it
I'm
is.
not. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well,
But
the
I always
thing-
put it. Oop, go ahead.
The thing that I like about Brutal Doom is, and the way that I explain it to people is, it's the Doom that your parents thought Doom
You were
was back in
Yeah.
like 95 when they were seeing it on the news.
It's the Doom John Romero wishes he would have made.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the ultra violent, super gory, just
Yeah.
blood everywhere.
Like dudes begging for their life.
Yeah.
And then you shoot them in the face with your shotgun.
Yeah, it is intense.
It's pretty great. I didn't play. I mean, there's not much to say about that other than it's a really gory version of Doom.
Yeah.
The Rise of the Triad remake was pretty similar to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Resogun on Vita after that came out.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. It works. It's good. It's not as good as the PS4 version.
Yeah. I think
It
it's
doesn't-
only 30 frames, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I was going to say. Is that's the killer? Is the difference between 30 FPS and 60 FPS is
Yeah.
really apparent.
Yeah.
But if you haven't played it and you want to play it more and you want to play it on the go, the Vita version is totally viable and it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I would recommend a controller grip for it because I don't know, for me personally, doing a two-stick shooter on there is really hard with large hands.
Oh, right.
It's not easy trying to keep your accuracy. So if you want to get like a cheap controller grip off of like Monoprice or something, I would totally recommend that.
Yeah.
I played a little bit more Persona 4 Golden, not a ton more, not as much as I wanted to play because I got absorbed into a couple of other games here that I'll talk about in a bit. But I've gotten to the point, so the victim after Kanji I am about to go in and rescue.
Oh, okay. All right, you're making
So-
good progress.
Yeah, so I'm making solid progress there. Have I gotten to the point where I'm supposed to make a choice?
No.
Okay, so I'm still not there. I thought I saw it, and I'm like, maybe that's not it.
Yeah, I'll let you know as you get closer.
Okay, that's good. So I played a bunch of that. I also played a couple of games. Me and my brother were hanging out. He's in from college, so we were just hanging out yesterday, and I was first and foremost making him watch Archer
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
because that is important.
Yeah.
That is important work. And we played a couple of PS4 games. We played a little bit of Sports Friends, which I've had
Oh,
for
nice.
a while. Haven't had a chance to play. We only got to play Barabari Ball and Super Pole Riders, which, now that I say that out loud,
Mm-hmm.
really, guys?
Yeah. Both of those games are outstanding, though.
Yeah. Barabari Ball it's just too much fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got to, like, figure out like where you're at with everything. Like, okay, I need to charge this throw, and I let go of the stick too soon, so it's just floating in midair.
Yeah.
That game's a lot of fun. It actually sort of reminded me of sort of like a light version of iDarb,
Yes. Yeah.
which if anyone's got a code for that, shoot it my way. If it's on PC, I don't even know if it's on PC.
No, I think it's only on Xbox One.
Okay, then someone shoot Knobs a code for that
There you
because
go.
my God, you need to play that game.
Is it out yet?
It isn't.
Okay, I think it's coming out this month.
They've given out like a bajillion codes for it.
Okay.
Like they're just like flooding the market with it. But that looks insanely fun, and I can't wait to play that.
Yeah.
So we played a little bit of that. We played a ton of Nidhogg, which I picked up on the holiday sale for PSN.
Oh, is it out on PS4?
Yeah, it's out on PS4 and Vita.
Oh, nice.
And that game it's so simple. It's just two dudes and a sword, and you're trying to get past each other and get to the end of the level.
Yeah.
That's it. But there's so much depth in that simple little concept.
Yep.
Like, you've got the 3 heights of the saber that you can hit at. You can roll on the ground and, like, come up and stab a dude. You can throw your sword, which I discovered by accident. My brother got past me, and I was just, like, flailing with the controller, and I whipped my sword at him, and he died.
Nice.
The persistent, like, sort of, like, effects where you kill the guy and, like, you get the pixels of blood coming out of him. It, like, trickles onto the ground.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see where, like, the most contentious areas have been. That game is complete and utter madness, and if you have somebody to play that game with, all the better. There doesn't seem to be any sort of online presence for that game right now.
It's my impression that the online for the PC version when it originally came out was so broken that like everybody, it's the de facto attitude about it is sort of like, it just don't play it online. It's just
Really?
single player. Yeah, like just catch co-op, just do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I managed to get into a couple of games of multiplayer, but unfortunately it was against somebody who is like number 3 on the Vita leaderboards right now.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna beat this guy.
Yeah.
But it's still fun. It's still a blast to play. It's just so quick. You have like just 4 different maps, 2 guys on each end, and you're just trying to get past each other. And it's, like I said, simple concept, insanely well executed.
Yeah.
That is probably my go-to, like, 2v2 game. Like, if we just need something quick that people need to jump into.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of games for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
I got Assassin's Creed Rogue, which I unfortunately have not cracked into yet.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, which, I've played and beaten the game, but I totally want to go back and play all that stuff, so I'll get to that eventually.
Yeah.
But I also got Wolfenstein: The New Order and Dragon Age Origins.
Oh,
Did you
man.
play either one of them?
I played both of them.
Nice.
I played a bunch of Wolfenstein. I got to the point where you're sort of going through the checkpoints.
Yes.
After you come to in the 60s.
Isn't that game much better than you thought it was going to be?
It's a million times better than I thought it was going to be.
Man, I was hoping to start that and finish that over the break, and I got sucked into something else.
Yeah. I really like the game. The shooting doesn't feel as satisfying as I had hoped.
It gets better.
Yeah.
I have heard that too.
Yet?
No, I have not gotten the sniper rifle yet. Okay.
The sniper rifle is when it clicked for me.
Yeah.
Because you're in that mission and you're back in the I think in the 60s, and you had this is squeak. There's a mission where you're actually up on this. There's another checkpoint you got to work your way through, and there's obviously there's a sniper rifle way up on high.
Yeah.
And you start. It's really good. Like that point where you got the dogs. I hate killing dogs, but
they're Nazis and they're part robot. It's okay.
Yeah, it is. I got 2 things working against them.
Yeah,
it is. But yeah, the thing I enjoy the most about that Wolfenstein game is the internal monologue as he's talking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that stuff's insane.
That game captures a feel that really caught me by surprise.
Yeah. I was not expecting it to be anywhere near as good as it's been touted to be. I was like, all right, it's going to be interesting, and it's phenomenal. The first person stealth is really effective. It really harkens back to like Chronicles of Riddick.
Huh.
That dog is going to chew through that door.
The beast needs in.
Apparently. It's just this completely like turn Wolfenstein on its head concept.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, that's what it really needed to be.
Oh, absolutely. So I played a bunch of that. I also played a bunch of Destiny, and I
Oh.
finally got to level 30.
Hey,
But now the level cap's 32.
crap.
So, you know,
Wah wah.
wah. I did a bunch of the new DLC stuff. It's fine. It's not life changing, but it's
Yeah.
pretty. I'm gonna let this dog in again. He's losing his freaking mind.
I just
No,
want to
it's
buy
so
you.
it's so nice. It's not mean.
No, that's just how dogs can be. They just need
How's
your
your pup?
love.
I want out. I want in. I want out. I want in.
Almost like they're a cat.
You're in for good, buddy. So Destiny level 30, still a ton of fun. Haven't played much of it because of Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, that's the only game I played during the break.
So I definitely like the game. I'm not sure if I love it, but I'm like 30 hours in. So
Okay.
I just got okay. I'm probably more like 20 hours in. I left it on pause a couple of times, so my actual
I
time
won't-
counts like
we won't
30,
tell anyone. It's
36.
That's fine.
So
Let's talk about
I like-
Dragon Age.
So the first thing, it took me 2 days after Christmas to actually be able to play it because I wanted to import my data from Dragon Age Origins.
Yes.
And PSN was down,
Yeah.
which sucked.
Yeah.
Uh,
So did
and
you
then-
play Dragon Age Origins and 2 or just Origins?
Just Origins. I played a ton of Origins.
I'm very curious to hear what you think about the story in Inquisition since it leans so heavily on what happened in 2.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense then. You should have played 2.
I should have.
Yeah.
I think I might go back and play 2 and see how that affects my playthrough of 1.
Yeah,
Or not of 1, of Inquisition.
I
But-
think they did a really good job in, like, if you talk to Varric a lot and you read the codex entries, you can probably piece it together.
Yeah, I mean, I did the Dragon Age Keep, so I got like the broad strokes.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. I was really happy with the way they did Dragon Age Keep.
Yeah, especially with, like, playing your tapestry where it, like, has that video where I think Varric narrates it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it turned
and you
out
can
really
al-
great.
And you can also sort of adjust some of your decisions in 2, even if you haven't played it.
Yep.
Which was really nice because there was some certain default things where I'm like, well, no, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, which is I think is real. Know the whole history. It's like I wouldn't like kill everybody. Like what?
Yeah,
what's
like
going on here?
in the entirety of Dragon Age Origins, I never once was like, yeah, Templars rule.
Oh yeah, I
No.
side with the mages all the time too.
Oh yeah, same here.
Oh,
So
it's the
I'm like,
Magi.
yeah, I straight lined with the mages through the tapestry in 2, so I like adjusted all my decisions to sort of reflect that.
Yeah.
And well, let's talk about the way that game opens when you start a new game.
Yep. Literally, when you click new game.
Everything blows up.
Yeah.
It Michael Bays you.
Yeah. It's super. I mean, it's compared to 2, where it took more than half the game to get where it was going.
Yeah.
Inquisition starts off literally at the very first moment.
Yeah. Everything sort of goes crazy. And you're the only one that can stop it, of course.
Mhm.
I sort of picked. So I'm playing an elf rogue archer,
Okay.
and so I had some trouble initially. I was going through the hinterlands and just trying to blast through that as quick as I could because I've heard the stories.
Yeah.
And I was getting rolled in every single encounter. I didn't realize that my companions were not automatically leveling up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Bioware
tweeted out
games.
and was like, hey guys, I'm having a lot of trouble here. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And then I started exploring the menus and I was like, oh, I have 7 points to spend on
Yeah.
all my characters.
I'm gonna hit square and let that happen.
Yeah, I'm going to hit square and oh, everything's better now.
Yeah.
I can't believe the amount of party members I have already. I've got like 6 or 7 dudes to pick from.
Yeah,
already.
there are 9 total, and you get them very early on, which I
Yeah.
really like because I hate when you play an RPG and like 30 hours in you get another party member, and it's like, well, I don't want to bring this person around. Like everybody stays
Yeah.
the same level throughout the game too, which is great. Like,
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
but it's kind of nice because it's not like you don't spend all this time with someone, and it's like, well, I don't want this new person because I got this old person.
Yeah, so I sort of customized my elf. I changed a few things, and then as I'm going through the game, I feel like I've just made an elven Jerry Seinfeld. The way he looks. I'll post a screenshot in the forums.
You need to post a picture of
He
that.
looks a little Seinfeld-esque.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know, there's something about the way he
What
carries.
is with all the magic?
Yeah, every time he speaks, I'm just kind of
What's
like,
with all these dragons?
and like Varric is George or something. Like
Varric is George.
Hello.
and Iron Bull is Kramer.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I talked about this yesterday on Pup. Iron Bull is voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr.
I know.
And it's great.
It's pretty phenomenal. I wouldn't have guessed that was Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. Oh man, how do you like Varric if you never played Dragon Age 2?
He seems interesting. I don't use him in my party. My main party right now is because I am a rogue. I am an archer. I don't need him.
Lies.
My main party is any one of the mages, usually Dorian or
Okay.
Yeah, it's Dorian.
Dorian's got some really good skills, especially late game.
Yeah, Dorian's really cool. Dorian, Cassandra, and Iron Bull. So I've got so I've got
heavy
me.
hitters.
Yes. So Cassandra is tank, and Iron Bull is just two-handed weapon to the face.
Yeah. That's a good party.
That is, it's been really effective for me so far.
My party I finished Dragon Age Inquisition. My first playthrough was just shy of 100 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I did everything.
Nice.
Like I killed all the dragons. I did all the side quests. There's one quest that's bugged in the Hinterlands that I couldn't finish. My main party there was Solus, Varric, and Blackwall.
Nice.
And
what are you?
And I was a sword and board warrior.
Okay.
First playthrough. This time, so I played through on normal. And I'm trying to platinum it, so my second playthrough I'm doing on a Nightmare, which, by the way, is no joke.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It is way harder than I was expecting. And this time I'm playing as a rogue archer.
Oh, nice.
And I'm bringing along Cassandra, Varric, and Solus.
Nice.
This time. And it's working out a little bit better.
That's a lot of damage.
I don't want to bring Blackwall for spoiler reasons.
Okay.
And I like Cassandra a little bit more. I'm trying to romance Cassandra this playthrough. I romanced Blackwall my first playthrough.
Nice.
Someone in Poke Chop Salad asks in chat, do you get a Mabari party member again, like in Origins, or is it a quick summon like 2? Neither. You don't get a
no Mabari, no puppy.
No, which is a bummer.
A shame.
I really liked that. I really wish I would have finished Inquisition before we did our top 10 recording, because it would have been my top game of the year.
Really?
Hands down.
Wow.
100%. I mean, it beats the crap out of anything else that came out in 2014.
I have a lot of little gripes with it. Like, the map really sucks.
Yeah,
like little things like that, and like the way they handle like the valuables in the inventory.
There's
and like the research items aren't separate, and like you could potentially sell something you need later.
There's so much.
It's all minor.
There's so much interface wonkiness that I feel like they never really got to focus testing a lot of the interface. Like, for example, since I'm playing on Nightmare, it's way more important to craft items than it was on your normal playthrough. So it took me, I'm now 50 hours into my second playthrough, so I'm 150 hours through playing this game.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I just figured out that if you go into like an armor category and you scroll all the way to the bottom, that's where you can make the stuff that you put onto your armor pieces that you craft. So
really?
like your legs and your arms and stuff, that's where those are. And I'm like, oh, what? Okay, well, I could have used that on my first playthrough when I'm fighting the last dragon, and it's doing so much fire damage that it's a challenge to stay alive.
Yeah.
So, like, there's weird... And then the valuable stuff. Like, for anybody that hasn't played Inquisition, they have this really interesting system where you pick up stuff from enemies that are, like, research materials, and you turn them into this researcher in your camp, and... you, for every like X amount of research materials you turn in, you do more damage to that type of enemies.
Yeah.
which is really great, but they go in the place where junk goes in. So if you go to a vendor and you just hit triangle to sell your junk, it sells that stuff too. So like, it took me too long in my first playthrough to say, okay, go to the researcher first, turn all that stuff in, then go to a vendor and sell all my junk. It's just like weird little stuff like that where it's sort of like, you couldn't have another category for like research materials. It's just weird.
I heard there was some requisition quests that you couldn't finish if you sold certain valuables that weren't research materials.
Not really. You can get those again.
Okay,
it's
that's
stuff
good to
like bits and pieces from spiders. You can get that stuff later.
Yeah.
You just find a cave, kill a bunch of spiders.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, I won't worry about that as much anymore.
And the only thing requisition things give you are a trophy if you don't have it, and power for the Inquisition.
Okay,
so not even really necessary.
Yeah, they're like 1 or 2 power or something like that.
And a little bit of like that green blue bar. You're like Inquisition experience.
Oh, okay,
a little bit of that, which there's way easier ways to get that later.
Yeah.
So.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Have you done the quest in your heart shall burn?
Yes.
Okay. So you've sort of hit the midpoint of the game where the game completely opens up, and now you have access to all the different areas.
Yeah. So I'm slowly getting access to all the different areas. I'm trying to gather power to open up more areas, and like I'm just trying to like open up the story areys until I get to a point where it's like, oh, I should probably go back and do some of this stuff.
Yeah, the one suggestion I can give you is I don't know if you've opened up the area, the Hissing Wastes.
Haven't done that one yet. I just got to the Exalted Plains.
Okay, so the Hissing Wastes has a really, really cool... So it has a high dragon in there, for one. It has a really cool side quest for you to do.
Okay.
The problem with the Hissing Wastes is it's enormous, and there is nothing in there. Like, there is virtually nothing in that region. So most people go there, they go to the first camp, and they see nothing on the way, and they just never go in there. There's a pretty cool mission in there where you have to go to, like, 5 different tombs and do all this stuff. I'd recommend doing that, because it's pretty cool, especially if you care about the lore of the dwarves.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's not that much interesting stuff to do in there.
Okay. Yeah, I just did the Exalted Plains, and there's like
lore of the dwarves.
I
love it.
I like the lore of Dragon Age.
It's pretty cool.
I'm a lore dork for that game.
Yeah, I just did. I got like the strongholds back in the Exalted Plains, and I hated that. Yeah, that was rough. And finding like the letters on the dead bodies.
Yeah, that was. Some of the missions in the Exalted Plains were. Have you got to the Emerald Graves?
No, not yet.
Okay, so the Emerald Graves are what I wanted the Exalted Plains to be. Emerald Graves is like this completely overgrown wooded area, and it's huge, and it's green, and it's beautiful. I thought that's what the Exalted Plains were going to be, and then they just turned to be like gray and boring, and just half of it's on fire.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it's just... compared to all the other regions, it's like you have this cool storm coast where it's always raining, and you can see the endless sea out before you. You have this cool oasis where you're opening all these doors in this old building.
Crestwood was interesting too.
Which one?
Crestwood.
Crestwood's pretty interesting. That's probably I would recommend fighting that dragon as your first one. That dragon's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm at like level 11 right now, so I'm at like level nothing. I
just beat that. Well, the soft cap is 20. So you're more than halfway there. You can keep leveling up and getting more points after that, but your stats don't increase a huge amount after that. I think that dragon is 13, I think, and it's pretty easy. The one in Hinterlands is 12, and the one in Emerald Graves is 11, but the one in Emerald Graves is kind of hard to get. That one's kind of hard to get to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is, like, the terrain, like, it's not really clear where you have to go a lot of the time. Yeah. And the map is almost entirely no help.
Yeah, I feel like once you get a better feel for that, like that terrain in that place, it's a lot better. But the Hinterlands is kind of the worst out of all of them because there's that mission at the very beginning where it's like someone's, oh, I need you to protect my farm against wolves. Oh no. Nearly impossible to get where those guys are without running into a rift that's level 12. And you're
So
like level
those
4.
wolves.
The worst one I found was I want to get to the last campsite, and I think it's the Exalted Plains.
Yeah.
But you have to go back to the war room and clear the start a mission to clear the path.
Yeah.
To get there, and I didn't figure that out for an hour.
A couple of regions do that, and I feel like if they do the War Room stuff with the next Dragon Age game, which I really hope they do, because I think it's a really cool idea.
It is.
I hope that they are a lot more transparent about that, because, like, one of my first one was in the Western Approach, and there's just this giant area that has deadly poisonous gas in it. And I was just like, well, I have, like, 3 quests in this area. Like, I can't find a way around it. You find one of those tiny little things where you can go claim something. I was like, well, I'll just claim it while I'm here. And it said, oh, there's a new war mission available. And I was like, really? Like, you couldn't have just given it to me the first time I stumbled and almost died in this thing? Like, I had to... It's those little, like, BioWare things where, like, once you do it once, but until you get to it, you're just like, there's like half of this map I can't get to. What is going on?
And that was the issue I had in the Storm Coast, which, by the way, easily my favorite area because it's just Ireland.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's all it is. If you go to the coast on that map, like the basalt columns, I swear it's modeled exactly after the Giant's Causeway.
Yep.
Which is, oh my god, he's stuck in my headphones. There we go.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. So that was just a pain because there's a ton of paths where you literally have to cut up the side of a mountain.
Yep.
And it's not apparent that that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Because in every other game or in every other area of this game, you have to go around and up.
Yeah.
And you find like a broad path as opposed to like literally like a swath through the mountain.
Yeah, there's a lot of little stuff like that that's just... It's a little bit weird in a way that like... BioWare's first open world RPG would be. You know, we're sort of like, yeah, okay. Like, that was weird. I hope you guys don't do that again. So.
Yeah. But I'm having a ton of fun with it. I can't stop playing it.
Yeah.
It has sort of replaced Destiny as my sort of like daily game. Like, I'll go in, I'll do a couple of quests, I'll try and get a little bit further.
Yeah. The saving anywhere is great in it, too, because it literally saves you in the spot that you're standing.
Yeah, that was cool because I finished like a mission and I had just finished a fight and saved, loaded back up, all the loot was still on the ground, picked it all up and went on my way. That was amazing.
Yeah, they did. It's so good.
It is really good.
I'm really curious to hear what your impressions are at the end of the game. And I'm really curious to see. You know, I talked about this on Pup yesterday. There's 3 things I'm excited for after finishing Dragon Age Inquisition. Is one, surprisingly, I'm excited for DLC for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Really?
I feel like with 1 and 2, there's a piece of DLC in 2 that was surprisingly way more important to Dragon Age Inquisition than I thought it was going to be. It was the very last one. It's titled Legacy.
Okay.
And I won't spoil it because it's a spoiler for... You've already run into it, but it's a spoiler for Inquisition.
Yeah.
It's who you meet in Your Heart Shall Burn.
Okay. Cool.
And 1 and 2 had such good DLC that were really meaty experiences. They were like $10-15, but they added a couple of hours to that game.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of... excuse me. I'm kind of excited for that. I'm kind of excited for another Dragon Age game, because I feel like they expanded on what Dragon Age 1 was. Because Dragon Age 1 did something similar, where you went to this area, and you did all these quests, and then you kind of made a big decision.
Yeah.
And I feel like they expanded the scope of all of that throughout the 10 areas in Inquisition. And I'm really excited for another Mass Effect game. Because they moved from Unreal Engine to Frostbite, and that game looks beautiful even on PS4.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did a much better job with the conversation system in this. Like, so for my first playthrough, and this isn't a spoiler for anybody, but like, you get this mark on your hand as part of the game, and a lot of people assume it's from Andraste, like one of the gods in the world.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, "Yeah, you're like our spiritual religious leader." And in my first game, I was just like, "No, that's not me. Like, I'm just a normal lady with like this crazy green thing on her hand. Like, I'm not crazy."
What's with this crazy green thing on my hand?
Yeah, like look at this nuts stuff. But was a whole separate story. And in the second one, in my second playthrough, I'm trying to play that up where I am the herald and I am like your religious leader, and there's so much stuff that's totally different.
That's cool.
Even like character interactions at like a very minor level that I really hope they carry that stuff over to Mass Effect, because I think that's kind of the punch in the arm that Mass Effect needs after that first trilogy. Like, if you're going to make more Mass Effect games, you need to, like, it needs to take a really big leap forward, because the first three Mass Effect games were so good. Like, you have to come out with something that's even way better.
Yeah.
So, Dimebag315 says, I haven't played any Dragon Age. Can I still pick it up? You can, actually. If you want to start with Inquisition, go through Dragon Age Keep and read a little bit. Joystick, I think it was Joystick or Kotaku, had a really, really great article explaining like the lore behind Dragon Age. You can read codex entries and you can ask your party members some of that stuff, and they'll give you a better idea. But their write-up was really good about what happened in 1, what happened in 2. You know, when someone is talking about the Maker, like, what does that mean? Like, what's the Black City? You know, they go through and they explain all that stuff, because the game leans on its lore a lot more than it did in 1 and 2.
Yes.
So there's a lot of times where it's just, you know, we're suddenly talking about the Fade and the Black City, and it's just like I know what that means because I'm a nerd for those games' lore.
Yep.
But if you don't know what it means, like, you're going to be missing something. But it's not impossible. It's not like picking up Mass Effect 3. It's like, I'm going to start with this one. It's like, no.
No, you're not.
You can't start with 2, but you can't just start with 3. But with Inquisition, you absolutely can just pick right up.
Yeah.
And even if you don't do Dragon Age Keep, the default build for the world is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's, what is it, World State?
Yeah, it's default world state. That's what I did for my second character. I actually didn't import anything from Dragon Age Keep, and I just said, I just want to see what this game is like if this was the first one I was going to pick up. And it's pretty interesting. They made some surprising choices that I don't think I would have. Well, I didn't make them, so some of that stuff was pretty surprising.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Someone played this game differently?
It's a little more.
How dare they?
It's a little more cutthroat than I typically am in BioWare RPGs. There's a lot of people dead in that game that I necessarily, especially from 1, that I don't think I would have killed for any reason. It's weird. God, the game is so good. That's what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of the day after I'm done editing.
Yeah, same here.
Like, I'm prepared in my Nightmare playthrough to just kind of make my way through the rest of the game. And probably skip a couple areas too.
Have you been doing a lot more of the tactical style combat in that playthrough?
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
That's surprising. Okay.
I beat all 10 dragons in my normal mode playthrough without using tactical either.
Nice.
Like, I just use all the standard. Like, I use it every once in a while when I need this person to go over there because the dragon is lighting you on fire. Just go away.
I use it in such a way as, so, like, if I'm in a group, like an encounter, like for a rift, and it's got one of those, like, those really tall, like, Slender Man looking dudes,
the greater
I'm like,
terrors.
I want that dead first.
Yep.
Because those things are so annoying to get rid of.
So typically what I do for that, because it's way faster, is I will target it where you click in the right stick.
And then hit attack my target.
Yeah, and I do that. And the AI is fairly smart about all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've been actually pretty impressed with the default AI. I really like, and I've always really liked in the Dragon Age games, you can go in and say, okay, you have this many potions, and this is the percent of health you use it. You know, like, you set up all your macros.
Yeah.
I want you to use these skills. These skills are not even available to you. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's good stuff.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I'm really loving this game. I'm glad I picked it up.
Yeah.
But that is pretty much all I played.
And Dragon Age Inquisition is all I have played. So let's take a break.
All right.
Right.
All right, Coop. It's time to apologize to the internet.
Hi, Coop.
That took a while.
Say, I'm
Wow.
sorry. I was very loud during that last segment. I'm going to try and be quieter.
But you're too damned cute, so.
He is! That's what saves him every time.
That's what saves us with our dog, is since she's a basset, she has that sad face.
That's just like...
So, like, you go to yell at her because she's being bad, and it's just like, oh, you just look so sad.
Well, I should have grabbed the spray bottle because we've taken to spraying him with a spray bottle because it's the only thing that averts any sort of like bad behavior.
That's a good idea.
And it's been working wonders. Like
Good.
he was like nipping at my brother yesterday, and I was just like, nope. And he went immediately from nipping to cuddling, which was adorable. He was like, "Oh, I'm not doing nothing. Oh, I see, we're buddies."
Everything's fine,
right.
man.
I'm gonna take him out really quick so he stops being crazy.
All right.
Come here, bud. Come on. We're gonna go outside.
So how's everyone in chat doing? Everybody have a good break? A good respective holiday?
Gotcha. Come on.
Oh, man. You keep trolling eBay for more games here. Complete in box The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends for the NES. Oh, there's Rock of the Dead for 360. I'll add that to watch list. I don't remember how much we live streamed or not.
Fuck on me.
I'm doing okay. I'm both my wife and I are getting over having bronchitis. So it wasn't as exciting of a holiday break as it usually is. It was a little hard to get in the season when we had some racking coughs. I don't know if I have the original X-Men Legends. I'm always so surprised about how many Genesis games there are with torn labels. It's like, man, what happened to this game?
God, why do my farts stink so bad?
Also a good question. I don't think you can hear me. They made a Where the Wild Things Are game for PS3? Oh, it's based on the movie? Weird. So many weird games got released for so much stuff. Oh man, those X-Men Legends games were so good. Oh. It's a shame that X-Men in general is such a hard thing to license. I really wish we could see more of those games, but there's just almost no chance. I mean, even, what was that, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 had so many licensing issues. Yeah, I think that was the game where you could toss Wolverine. One of those two. The fastball special. Yeah, poor Onimusha. I never really got into that series, but I always really appreciated them from afar. Man, I really like demo discs too. This is Jam Pack Volume 13 for the PS2. Such weird collections of games. Oh yeah, Road Rash was so good.
Come on.
There was that reboot they were trying to do a while ago, but I just don't think it would have taken off. I think they were right to cancel it. Welcome back.
Hey.
Oh man, Command and Conquer for the N64. I don't even know that came out.
What came out?
Command and Conquer for the N64?
Oh, that was a terrible game.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to do a real-time strategy game with that controller?
Yeah. I mean, it was bad enough on the PS1.
Yeah, but some people really played the Hello? Whatever. Can't answer the phone when I call you back. Bullshit. Alright.
Oh, I live.
He lives.
Indeed.
Alright, I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Yeah, I've got a lot of hair.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Oh, snaps.
No gray.
I don't mind the gray. It's the fact that it's disappearing slowly but surely in the traditional horseshoe pattern there that
I'm the exception to the rule that if you wear a hat all the time you lose your hair.
yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm very, very deliberately marching towards Salt and Pepper, and I'm so excited.
A buddy of mine started going gray at 18.
Yeah. I'm going to look
It was-
so good, Salt and Pepper. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even worried about it.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I hope mine just turns white. Like
Just overnight.
Just Sephiroth white.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, then I'm gonna grow a big long ponytail.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
You have to, but the white hair looks so cool.
It does.
It does. Yeah, if I end up losing it up top, I'm just gonna shave. It's pointless to even attempt.
Yeah. Just bite the bullet.
Yeah, it means I'll have to lose weight, lose the pack of hot dogs in the back of the neck here.
That's rough.
You know, I have to
It's rough,
I have to
man.
appreciate that you're honest with yourself.
You know, I know how big I am.
Yeah. A lot of dudes are
not-
like, no, man, it's totally be fine.
No, it's totally
Gotta
not okay.
comb over when they're 55.
Nope. All right. Let's see.
Well, you're doing better than some. I
That's
mean,
true.
I know I knew friends that were losing their hair in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle lost all of his hair by the time he was 18.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and he had he had the white guy fro going on too
Oh, jeez.
in the 70s.
That's
so
just
he
like
was kicking it.
That was the worst time to lose your hair, too, because everybody is the worst in high school.
Yeah.
Man.
There's some. I don't think he got picked on. I've heard some stories.
Oh.
I don't think that was an issue.
Yeah, maybe he was too much of a Lothario.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll say that, yeah.
I was looking for something. What was I looking for here? Oh, well.
Show notes?
Yes, there it is. Aha!
Ding, ding, ding.
My brain is just.
I guess we never hang out. So
I have the dumb.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was my exact when like Musum responded to me on Twitter when I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong in Dragon Age, and I had my little epiphany.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah, I was like, oh
whoops.
yeah, I should probably spend those points. Don't worry about me. I have the dumb.
I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't
How
really.
is John doing? I feel like I haven't talked to him in ages.
I don't know.
I don't know.
A lot of working from what I gather on Twitter and
Yeah.
Facebook. Okay,
Well,
show
I
notes
should
are
probably
up.
start playing Warframe because he stopped posting it. But I
Yeah.
think he cheated because he just turned the notification off, so he's still playing it. He's
Yeah,
just being incognito.
we talked about it on Pup. He's still playing it.
That's one I got to install still. I just started installing all the stuff that I haven't on PS4, and I think that's one of them.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Dude, what is gonna happen? Like with I think there's gonna be a major storage problem with this generation.
Of course there is.
Absolutely.
You can re-download all your stuff forever.
Well, I know that, but I mean, I was at 92% full.
Yeah.
I have like 5 games.
Xbox One has seems to have a much larger storage problem than the PS4 does. I don't understand why that is.
Well, the PS4, you can literally pop it open and change your hard drive out.
That's true.
Whereas with the 360, you're stuck with external storage.
Yeah, and I feel like external storage isn't really the solution. And I know Microsoft's like, yeah, if you want to expand the storage on your One, you just slap a new hard drive, in the back of it, but not inside. That's crazy.
That's a cop out.
Yeah. Oh, it totally is. Yeah.
Why don't you cloud compute the rest of this stuff, you idiots?
Yeah. I don't know if you want them to go that way.
Well, they do something.
You don't want cloud compute. No, not this generation. I really hope they don't try to roll that out this
Well, the
generation.
PS4 outage showed us enough that maybe we're not ready for that.
Oh, yeah. There was, that was just a mess.
Yeah.
Do you read that?
Whoop.
That dude passed away on ESPN. Do you know
I
that?
read that this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
young. 51?
49.
49? Yeah.
Yeah, booyah. Well, there it wasn't but he's the one that started that.
Yeah. We're not celebrating.
All
Throw
right.
another ticker in the coffer.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready for this rest of this business?
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Oh, I should
Why?
probably open up emails.
Piss off the rest of the sports people.
Boom shakalaka? That's all I remember about sports.
That's NBA Jam. No, he'd I don't know. He had some really great one-liners doing like the daily like, like he must be a bus driver. He's taking all the kids to school. Like, like great stuff like that.
Yeah. Stuff that everybody repeats now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's been trying to emulate that. Like he was one of the first guys that really got it right.
Yeah.
Like him and Keith Olbermann and the dude that does the NFL Network, whatever his name is. And then all of a sudden Berman started trying way too hard, and then you talk about a pack of hot dogs. It's a pack of bratwurst, and that dude's next.
All right. Oh,
Feel better?
One game I forgot to mention that I had played was Crossy Road because of Giant Bomb. I've played so much Crossy Road.
Oh, I didn't even install that. I can't go down that road.
You
No
really
pun
can't.
intended.
Honestly, it's oh god.
Ah.
Wah, wah.
Gotcha.
It's really good if anyone's interested. It's all if you're on Android, it's only on the Amazon App Store, which is a bit annoying, but whatever.
Okay.
All right, let's do this.
Yes.
Alrighty. Ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got a release this week for January 5th, 2015. What? 5/15. It's whatever. Duke Nukem 3D Megaton Edition for the PS Vita and PlayStation 3.
I think they are just checking boxes for platforms this is not on yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now
Poke
the
yourselves in the eyes.
Vita and PS3 is lucky enough.
Nothing says FPS like Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move on to two super not interesting news stories since everybody was on break.
Hmm.
Hopefully, the Vita Viking will give us a remote news story on this when it opens. But
Oh yes.
Namco Entertainment will be opening a Pac-Man themed restaurant in Chicago sometime in, I believe, in 2015, titled Level 257.
That's fantastic.
That's a pretty good name.
That's a
Yep.
solid name.
Yeah.
The
I better
19th
be.
hole.
Yeah.
I better be able to eat dinner on a cocktail table.
Oh, that'd be
Yes,
great.
that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I already told my wife the minute this place opens, we're going.
Yeah.
I heard about this and I was just like, that's amazing. I hope they go like crazy because Chicago is actually pretty well known for restaurants that are just insane.
Yeah.
I hope they just build a maze and put food in it, and that's the entire
Sure.
restaurant.
Sold.
I'd go.
Man. In less surprising and less crazy news, excuse me, DMC Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 4 are headed to PS4 and Xbox One in 2015 as sort of HD remakes plus extra stuff. I'm a little surprised that both of these games are coming out.
Hmm.
I almost feel like this is them, Capcom saying, hey, which one do you like better? Vote with your wallets, for real. Do you really hate the new one? Or do you guys like DMC4? So DMC will be coming out with a bunch of extra stuff, new challenge modes, stuff like that. Not a bunch of extra stuff. Of course, they're going to make it look like the PC one and all that. DMC4... summer 20, so that one will come out on March 17th for only $40. That's a pretty good deal. If you haven't
That's not
played
bad.
DMC, if you haven't played either one of those, they're both pretty good.
Devil May Cry is still a pretty solid game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I liked DMC, the new Devil May Cry. I know a lot of people are still upset about it. That's fine. It's an okay game.
Yeah.
I liked the first half of DMC4. I really liked using that grabby hand.
Yeah,
Whatever that guy's name is.
who would have thought the game would fall flat on Dante's portion?
Yeah, but I've never loved Devil May Cry enough to be excited for the second half of that game.
I never really liked any of the Devil May Cry games, and once I played Bayonetta, I was sort of like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This makes sense now. I understand why people like these games.
Yeah. And not too many details about DMC4 about how they're kind of changing that around.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're kind of tweaking enough of those to bring them to modern times, and then kind of making them really crazy on the high end for crazy people that need that game to be super tough. So
Have they done a re-release of Devil May Cry 3?
No.
That's a
There
shame.
were two versions on PS2,
Mm-hmm.
and you should play the second one because it's not broken.
Yeah.
But I don't believe they've remastered that one yet. They obviously will not be doing DMC2.
No, because everyone would kill them.
Yeah, and they did one for PS3.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Yeah,
Devil May Cry 3 is the only one I haven't played.
yeah,
It's the best one.
yeah. Everybody says it's the best one.
It's the only one I like.
Yeah. But that's all news stories we have because things were kind of quiet, holidays and all. So let's move over to
Considering no one could get online.
Well, that's true. I don't believe we have any tweets. No, nope. All right, moving on to emails. First email here from Matt. He says, "Hi guys, new listener here. Thank you.
Hey.
Hey, welcome.
I was listening to many episodes ago and you were talking about game demos and why companies skip using them. I have a theory. If I had a demo before I played Watch Dogs, I wouldn't have bought it. By playing online, the game just wasn't for me. However, that was after I spent the $60. If they had more demos, they would have less sales. I wish there were more demos, though. Demos really helped you decide if the game was worth it or not. Thoughts?" I mean, yeah, that's a very real concern for... I mean, it would work both ways. It would work for, hey, go play this demo. This game is surprisingly good, and then hopefully turning that over into sales. But yeah, there'd be a lot of games nowadays where, and there's also games like, how do you make a demo for Dragon Age Inquisition? Do you just give them the first hour?
That doesn't even begin to cover that game.
Yeah, and then what do you give a demo for Watch Dogs on the same thing? Do you just give people a couple of missions?
Yeah, I mean, you could theoretically just give them like a timed in an area, with a certain amount of like points. But I don't know. It's like the modern game. It's more difficult to do demos for, and the marketing department doesn't want there to be demos for the exact reason you put out there.
Yep.
It could potentially turn more people off to the game than it would turn people onto the game.
And the other Jay-Z in chat brings up a really good point. He says, I feel like YouTube and Twitch have replaced demos for me.
Yes.
For a large part, most of my demo exposure is Giant Bomb Quick Looks. Because that's what I need. I just need to see someone playing the game for a little bit, and I'll usually go, well, all right, that was about what I expected. But every once in a while, someone will play something where okay, I need Deadly Premonition. Watch somebody play through a little bit of that, and I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy enough that I at least need to try it.
Yeah.
But a demo for a game like that wouldn't have worked.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, you look at a game like Asura's Wrath, where that demo sold me on that game even more than I already was.
Totally. And I think the part that we really miss is digitally distributed games, not like full $60 games, but like the $5, $10, $15 games where I bought so many games on 360 because every game had to have a demo. So I'll just try every game, and then I find, we find surprises like Gatling guns.
Yeah.
Gatling Gears. Sorry.
Gatling Gears. Same thing with Renegade Ops.
Renegade Ops. You play that game for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it says, would you like to buy the full version? And I say, yes, please. You already have my credit card.
Yeah.
The other GZ in chat, too, says, at best you do a PT. I think PT is a really interesting, different take on marketing, because it's not really a demo. It is a playable teaser. But it's something that's so totally different from what we normally get. You normally get here's 15 trailers and 20 teasers, and there's a trailer a week leading up until the game, and you're sick of it. But here's this thing that landed during press conference, and you can download it now and play it, and you don't know what it is until you finish it. And it's a Silent Hill game. And the game probably won't be anything like that, but at least you have something different for that game. So I don't know.
Well,
interesting. I mean, as much as this generation's games have changed, the marketing of it has to change too. And I think demos going away is just one of those. We're never going to get another demo disc that comes with a magazine, because those don't exist either.
I wish Giant Bomb are still doing the demo derby videos on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'm assuming
those were so cool.
Those are pretty
good. Yeah.
That's a Tapatalk security notice.
Hey.
Don't even read that. All right, an email from Mr. Zaz. I was wondering if you could simply explain what a DNS attack is. Seems like it's happening all the time now, most recent being WoW's expansion launch and Christmas Eve PSN and Xbox Live. Are we in a new era of hackers, and can anything be done about it? Thanks, guys. So I'm assuming he's talking about a DDoS attack and not a DNS attack.
Well, I think he's conflating two things.
Sure, if you're interested in a DNS attack, that's more complicated than we can talk about right now. Just do a Google search for DNS SYN attack, SYN. There's a really good way of explaining it that would be too deep for a video game podcast.
Yeah.
Someone had a really good analogy for a DDoS attack. I think it was on NeoGAF. So basically a DDoS attack is you get enough traffic flooding one thing that it cannot serve your traffic in a reasonable enough time frame. So either you get timed out, or some sort of service starts to shut down, like we saw with PSN and Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up a really good analogy, which is even if you build the largest freeway, I live near LA, there's 6-7 lane freeways.
Yep.
If you put enough cars on it, there's still going to be traffic, and you're still not going to be moving. That's basically what a DDoS is.
Yeah.
We're not going to name the groups of people that were involved in this attack, but basically what they're doing is they're getting enough computers together, typically through malware or something like that.
A botnet.
Yeah, a botnet. And then they are just flooding these services for more bandwidth than is available in that service. So,
and there's one important factor that I think a lot of people gloss over is the fact that there's so all the traffic is made up of little packets of information, and there's ways to amplify the number of packets coming from a single source.
yes.
And that's sort of where all this comes from, because you can potentially, use only a couple of computers and slow the network down. But if you combine the amplification with a large amount of computers, you have something that can cripple an entire network, as we've seen.
Yeah. So to give an example, the I don't know, but I'm gonna assume, since Sony is a large enterprise, that their backbone to the internet for PSN is probably about 100 gigs per second. That's probably a fair bandwidth size for that company. It was the number that the attacking group put out there, which take with a grain of salt, was 400 gigs per second.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, like, people were saying, like, oh, well, the sysadmins need to get fired, you can prevent against a DDoS. You can, but not when it gets 4 times the amount of bandwidth you have. You just have to try and mitigate that as much as you can and try and stop what's going on. But with how the internet's designed, that's really hard, if not impossible, to do.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I have never been at somewhere who's been under a DDoS attack, knock on wood. But it's not something... It's something you can try and plan for, and it's something you can try to mitigate, and there are services out there. But when it gets so big like that, when it gets orders of magnitude past the amount of available bandwidth you have, there's not a lot you can do other than kind of fix what you can and wait for it to stop.
It can be extraordinarily difficult to discern between legitimate traffic and DDoS traffic.
Yep.
Even, automated systems are often, the best way to go with those. But if it's just a botnet of, little Dell machines sitting in an office that haven't, been upgraded in 3 years, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're blocking. One of the most common techniques for mitigating a DDoS is null routing. You literally just point all this traffic to an address that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's really just kind of phenomenal to see I've worked in multiple hosting companies where they've been hit by DDoSs, and it's just incredible the amount of work that goes into the simplest of DDoS attacks on a single site.
Yep.
An attack on the magnitude of the PSN, like the Xbox Live hacks, I can't even fathom. I can't even begin to imagine how difficult that is.
Yeah, as a sysadmin, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
As somebody who is trying to play Dragon Age,
it's pretty annoying.
It was pretty annoying. And it's really tough because I see both sides of the coin, but it's one of those things where Sony's engineers probably know a lot more, and with Sony being as large as they are, pretty much the only thing they can do is start scraping logs and talking to the FBI.
Yeah.
and if it was international, Interpol. And that seems like it's kind of... Most people would say that sounds kind of like an escalation, but that's what you need to do. Like, your local police force isn't going to do anything.
No.
And you can't just wait it out, because most DDoS attacks aren't going to stop.
No.
So this one allegedly did, but it's tough. Mr. Zaz wrote in and said, like, are we in a new age of hackers? This has been going around long enough. I think we're in an age of groups that want the publicity for their attack for their group, rather than we want to attack it because we have some like ideological issue with PSN or something, or like they just wanted to disrupt Christmas and get their group's name out there because that's what they wanted to do. So there's nothing interesting behind it. They weren't hacking PSN so they could shut it down so they could get credit card info.
No,
you know,
right.
like that seems a little bit more understandable. They just wanted to shut it down because it was Christmas.
Yeah,
Because they could.
Yeah, and because they could. It's like the people who are continuously pirating movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's they probably would have bought that. They're just downloading stuff because they can.
Yeah,
You know, it's the same sort of thing. They can because they find it funny and they can.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing. People are looking for more deep reasons, and there aren't any.
There really aren't. And if you want to read about okay, sort of like just loop back to the "Are we in the new age of hackers?" question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are, but not for the reasons you think.
Right.
Read up on. I've always found it fascinating, the Stuxnet virus.
Oh,
if you want to learn, that is
God, that's fascinating.
Absolutely fascinating read.
Yeah.
Just the amount of work and targeting and just it's so cool.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, basically Stuxnet was the first virus written to attack a physical target and did physical damage through a software virus. So, and awesome. the history behind that is so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the only thing you can hope is that Sony and Microsoft have used this as a learning opportunity and use this as an opportunity to make their networks more robust, make PSN more robust, make it more geographically co-located and stuff like that. And hopefully the next attack that happens, because there will be a next attack, is either less impactful, it just slows the network down, or we get to a point where things are robust enough that it can kind of shove off an attack like this pretty quickly, instead of being down for a couple of days. And that's the only thing we can hope for.
Yep.
So that's why our all-digital future is not happening.
Yep.
Sorry. But that's all the emails and tweets we got this week. Thank you for listening. You can find out more at tvgp.tv. Email us, tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at TVGP, and we're on so many other sites like Reddit, Tumblr, Stitcher, iTunes. Everything else is on the right-hand side of the page.
And don't forget to join us for Monday Night Game Night. That is 10 p.m. EST. It has Battlefield 4 on the Xbox One, and also for our Friday wrap-up, which is Battlefield 4. At some point in the night, we'll all be playing.
Sandwich the weekdays with Battlefield 4.
Bookend your life with us on a weekly basis. And then Thursday Night Game Night is on Steam, and Wednesday night PSN night is Wednesday.
At some point.
Yeah.
At some point. Join the forums. Don't forget to mark stuff on the map.
Boom.
So Scott and I are talking about making some minor changes to the way Game Club is handled as far as game voting. We're sort of ironing that out. I'm hoping to have something up by maybe this week, possibly next week. I do apologize for the delay. It was a really, really hectic holiday for me. We were traveling a lot.
It's a busy holiday season. We're all taking a break at the end of the year,
Yeah, exactly. So we want to roll out Game Club in such a way that it's a little bit more community driven and a little bit more more fun to participate in for everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll have some news on that on the forums in the coming week or so.
And don't forget, you can watch this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for watching. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Laters.
Peace.
I have 2 titles.
I got a short list of titles here.
My Soul is Still Vicious.
Yeah, that's definitely on there.
And Old Man Fingers.
Old Man Fingers is also on mine. So I have Pieces Parts, which you said at some point, Boston.
I love that phrase.
I Can't Beat the Arcade Mode. I Think This Game is Slow. Fist Bullets. Does Your Soul Still Burn? SOL. Ramathorn. Crossy Swords. Somebody said something like that at one point. We've got a release this week. And Grabby Hand.
Does your soul still burn?
The other Jay-Z says, the bookends of your life. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do like, does your soul still burn? SOL.
Yeah.
That was so funny because that's crossing a whole bunch of stuff. There's so much from that.
That's pretty great.
I'm gonna circle that one. That one's pretty
All
good.
right.
Well, just because like Soul Calibur, and your soul still burns.
All right. Stupid bronchitis. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 376 for January 5th, 2015. Does your soul still burn?
Continue.
What does the burst button do?
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We will see you
9,
back next
8.
week.